We begin with Danny DeVito. Tell me about this film. Emma Thompson
Yes.
stars in it, and
Magnificent, Emma.
she is a magnificent.
Isn't she a magnificent woman? Yeah, really. Well, you know, Arnold and I worked together in Twins, and there was a, you know, when Ivan called and said we're going to be brothers, it was, you know, very bizarre, very big concept, and you know, Ivan, the one great thing about him, he's always concentrating on the story and keeping things like real, and there's always, it's not just making a poster. That's the idea. We didn't want to do that, and that was successful. I think we succeeded in exploring themes, you know, the brotherhood and the searching for the mom and all that, even though it was in the, and the same thing with Junior. It's a very, very huge concept.
Now, let me interrupt you, because
go
there
ahead.
was this notion that after, that you and Arnold and Ivan Reitman, the director, that somehow you guys went somewhere and you signed a napkin that said, we'll work together.
Yeah. It was actually
by 1994.
Yeah, well, it was actually at the it was at the premiere of Dave,
which Ivan directed.
And we all were there, and we've been talking about it. You know, right from after Twins, we decided we didn't want to do a sequel. That was like, we could have gone in and done another, you know, Two Brothers on the Lamb or whatever, and so we've been talking about it over the years, and we, you know, keep in touch and you see each other here and there and whatever, and. But we never really got, like, beat in on it. I'm doing things all the time. Ivan's doing stuff. Arnold's always, you know, launching missiles or whatever he's doing. And, you know, there's that really serious thing called a window. If you're working a lot, if you really want to say, okay, this time, we're going to set time. we're not going to think of, you know, making commitments or anything like that. So we were there, and it was a, you know, we said, well, let's sign on this napkin. So we all signed this thing. We put a date and a time and a whole thing. And it kind of like was a... I mean, it was really an inspirational kind of, like, you know, it was like an impetus to, like, you know, concentrate on.
Who brought the idea? Was it Arnold or was it Ivan that
the movie?
Had the idea?
This movie,
for Junior.
Arnold had been pitched this idea or given a script a while ago. I don't know I don't know the total history of that. You got to ask him, but he stayed away from it because it is a kind of it's a bizarre idea, you know, and in the wrong hands it could be very, you know, it's, you know what I'm saying? So he was kind of waiting for it to be available for Ivan, to bring it to Ivan, and because he is really a perfect guy for this, because it is like this huge concept, but underneath there's some really serious themes. I mean, it's...
All right, well, let's talk about that. The huge concept is that, you know, a man is going to have a baby. What's extraordinary is the man is Arnold.
Yeah, well, if you look at it, you look at the picture when you see the movie, and you get the whole feeling of the movie. He's the perfect guy. Do you know what I'm saying? He is like, it is such a, you know, odd thing to have this, you know, macho giant guy whose image is like so, you know, embedded in our minds as this, you know, he's exploring other areas in this picture. You know what I'm saying? He's still a man. He's never, you know, he's always a man having a baby in the movie, and the transformations that he takes in the picture while he's, you know, going through the experience. Actually, we never set out to have the baby. See, we're scientists who have developed this drug called Expectane. See, the drug it's serious stuff. I mean, it's aiding miscarriage-prone women in their problem. It's going to help the egg adhere to the uteral wall. It's very serious and scientific stuff. This drug we've tested on monkeys. We bring it to the FDA, brick wall. They won't let us try it on human beings. So now this is for humanity. This is for mankind, womankind. This is like, okay, now he's despondent. He's gonna go back to wherever he lives in Glandensprung, and I'm gonna, you know, my wherever that is, my I don't know. I'm
near Austria.
You know, I'm, I've invested a lot of money. I'm also I play a gynecologist in the movie.
But you're also an entrepreneur.
Well, but no, the real thing is it's many levels. It's one thing I liked about the role. It's like I'm Larry Arbogast, who is a fertility expert. I have a practice. I'm, you know, a gynecologist, obstetrician. I have a particular problem in the movie. Pamela Reed plays my wife. We're separated at the point when we come into the movie. We have a problem. We can't conceive. It's like it's major irony. A guy who's surrounded by babies. So on one level, it's an investment in a drug that could be, make a lot of money. But there are other things about the character of Larry who, you know, there are other motives in terms of why he's really pressing to get this done. So anyway, Arnold's despondent. He's gone off, and everything's going to fall apart. I'm not the scientist. I'm the doctor. I'm a doctor, but I'm not the scientist. He's developing the drug, testing the drug. So I, talk him into, and we get an egg, and and it's all like science. It's all based on this kind of real, and like I said, as it is a huge concept, but the themes of like embracing family, embracing a child, and experiencing that's what really the movie is.
All right, I want to see this scene because I want to talk about performances and directing.
What is
the one we're going to show is nothing to wear. You're getting ready to go to the convention.
Well, yeah,
there's nothing to wear.
We're in the middle of like the period of time where he's he's making certain transformations in terms of like nesting and things. And I've got to go to see the guys who are investing in the in the drug.
In the drug.
Yeah.
Roll tape. Here it is.
Don't wait up for me tonight. I'm going to be late.
Why? Where are you going?
The pharmaceutical convention at the Hyatt. Meeting the Linden guys.
The convention is tonight?
Yeah. I told you it was tonight.
Oh, Larry, please take me with you.
No. No. You stay home. Get back in bed and just take it easy.
No, Larry, you don't understand.
I do understand. No.
Please, listen to me.
No. It's bad for business.
I'm pregnant and all alone.
Oh, will you stop saying that? Look, you're not pregnant. You got to think of this as an experiment. Think of it like you swallowed a piece of gum. Tiny piece, dentine.
Look, I won't be in your way. I take walks. I disappear. Please. I feel so isolated.
All right. Okay, you can come, but don't do that thing with your eyes.
I can come?
Yeah.
Larry. But I have nothing to wear.
Yeah, absolutely. We have. I love working with this guy.
Why?
Even before Twins, we we never worked together.
Yeah.
It was one point at one time where I came close to doing a part in one of the Conan movies, but that didn't work out. I saw myself in that, bearskin thing, and I said, nah.
No, it's not for me.
That's not for me. But, we'd see each other, on the street or in a restaurant or at some kind of function or whatever. And we always had this odd kind of chemistry. Yeah, it was like, it was an easy thing. We always we would, kid each other about whether it was a movie that we saw that we were in, his movie or my movie, or, we would joke about things. We would always needle each other. And we had a good kind of, it was fun. It was fun, like, relationship. And then when Ivan came along with the Twins thing, somehow it just it felt so comfortable working with him. We admire each other's work, and we respect each other and that kind of thing.
Is he a better actor now than he was when he made Twins?
Oh, every movie that he does with me, he gets better and better.
Yeah, and does he pay attention? Is he?
Absolutely.
He's growing. He
always
paid
paid
listener.
attention.
He's
always paid attention.
Concentrated.
Very smart. Arnold was always like with my two experiences with him in Twins, he was always like eager to try it.
Yeah.
This is comedy. This is out of his realm. It's not easy to do. It's timing, and it's like setups and lines and this, that, and the other thing. Always very, very eager to, get in there and dig in and work. And in this movie, he's better than he's ever been. He's very funny in this movie.
Growing up in Asbury Park.
That's right.
Did you?
Asbury Park, New Jersey, buddy. The Jersey Shore.
You loved it, though. You loved it.
It's not Nebo, North Carolina.
Well, there's
that.
Actually, I used to go. I had an uncle who lived
in
Manasquan. No, Manasquan, which is not very far from Asbury Park.
Very Manasquan.
It's right around. They're both on the shore, the Jersey Shore.
Beautiful.
But you grew up there. What made you decide that I'm going to go to New York and I'm going to go to the Academy of Dramatic Arts and I'm going to become a big deal actor, director?
Yes. Well, you see, my father's from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
A lot of my family's in Brooklyn, and I always was we'd come up to visit my grandmother on the Sundays. We'd take the Staten Island ferry and go to the Belt Parkway to Flatbush and all that. And I loved driving through the city. I always loved New York City. But I loved growing up in Asbury. Was like a terrific town when I was a kid to grow up in, because it was a shore resort. Every summer was just packed. I mean, all the city girls would come down, and there was so much going on, and the amusements. We had 6 or 7 movie theaters in our mile square town.
Yeah.
I mean, every Wednesday the show changed. You could go see, go to the boardwalk to the movies. You could go all different places. It was wonderful. And then in the winter, Labor Day, it was totally gone.
Yeah.
I mean, you get a parking space anywhere. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. And it was like Bergman-esque in the way it looked. It was like, that
desolate,
beautiful light and just gorgeous. In the morning, the sun would rise out of the ocean, and it was just like, well, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Go fishing with your father.
Yes, go fishing with my dad. We used to go out to the jetty and fish, or go to the river, Shark River down there. It's not Manasquans. Yeah. We used to go, in fact, Manasquan, you remember the white bridge there? Yeah. Where you go fishing for snappers?
Right.
In the summer, that was it. And in August, we used to go fishing for snappers with a little dauber off the bridge. Yeah. Really beautiful place to grow up. I always wanted. I didn't always want to be an actor, but I always thought that I could do it.
Why did you think you could do it?
I don't know. I love movies. I go to every Saturday and Sunday. I was in the movie theater. No matter if anybody didn't want to go or not, I was there. And I just loved it so much. I thought it was, it's bigger than life. It seemed so magical. I would go in and I'd lose myself in these westerns.
Who were your heroes?
I had a very, I was a big comedy fan. I loved Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis, and but I also, when Bridge on the River Kwai came, boy, I mean, David Lean movies were like, it. And then, it was just, I had a very eclectic taste. I would go to the movies no matter what was there, pretty much.
Was it easy to get in the American Academy of Dramatic Arts then, when you decided to?
Well, what I did is I went kind of a roundabout way. I didn't really go to be an actor. My sister has a beauty parlor in Asbury Park, Angela, and
you were a hairstylist for a while?
I finished high school. I wasn't doing anything. I was hanging around. I was, and she said, "Why don't you, come to work for me?" I said, "What are you talking about? What am I going to do with a beauty parlor besides maybe get a couple of phone numbers,
Yeah.
So she said, "I'll pay your way." She sent me to Wilfred Beauty Academy, and I went there for whatever it was, how many months or whatever. And I learned how to be and I worked in a shop. And I said, "This is pretty good. It's okay." I wasn't making a lot of money, but I wanted to branch out. I said, maybe I should learn makeup. So I didn't know where to go. And I looked in the New York papers, and I found there was a makeup course being taught at this place on Madison Avenue, the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. So I said, let me give it a shot. So one night I went down there. And I said, I'd like to enroll in makeup. And they said, well, you can't enroll in makeup. You have to
be an actor.
You have to enroll as an acting student. So my dream was forced upon me, And I did a monologue from Tea House of the August Moon, the famous Brando monologue in that. And then.
But how did you know that?
No, I had to go learn it.
Oh,
they said you got to pick a monologue and go do it.
You got to come in here audition.
I never read a play. I never read a play before this. This was like when I was like 19, 20 years old. I'd never seen a play. The only one play I saw was Mr. Roberts. It was done at a tent out in Neptune. Right? My father got some tickets, and he, and
it's acting.
That's it. And so I started. I rolled in night class, and I went, and I would just sit in the acting styles classes and the acting classes, and I was just ready for the makeup course.
But it was pretty soon after that you were up for In Cold Blood, right?
Well,
wasn't very long before you lost that.
The thing about being up for it is like, that's in my mind. I was up for it.
It was just you and...
It was me. Yeah. I was putting myself up for it. I read it in installments in the New Yorker, and I said, I gotta get to see Richard Brooks,
right.
For this part of Perry Edward Smith. And I loved it so much. And I went out. Now, by that time, I had done some summer theater already, and I felt like I had my chops. Yeah. So I went out to California to try to get in.
And what did they tell you?
Well, it was already cast.
Yeah. Oh, so Robert Blake had it.
He had already had it. Yeah, he already got the part.
Now, did anybody ever say to you, "Forget this"? I mean, you're dreaming. You're too short, and you won't work, and there's no role for people who are 5
When I was out there at that time, I was making the. It was weird because California it was 67 or something, 67, around there. And it was very, very, flower children and all this. And I was a New York guy with a black raincoat, white sneakers and a hat. I always wore a beret. And it was very odd to be out there at that time. And so I made a few rounds, what they call making rounds. I brought my pictures around to people, and I couldn't get to first base. I didn't have an agent. I couldn't. I went finally. So I tried to get to see this one casting director, and it took months to get in. I mean, I laugh about it now, but it was really a traumatic experience. I went in. I finally got in to see them, and they're sitting there at the desk, and blah blah blah. And I put my picture in. This is after a couple of months trying to worm my way in with the secretaries and the this and the that. And the person looked at my picture, and they pushed it back at me. They gave me the picture back. They said, nobody wants a 5-foot character actor. I mean, it's really, you know. Like,
that'll hurt a guy.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, come on, what are you talking about? You know, Charlie, I've never heard of a guy sitting at a table talking to people who's 6'3".
Yeah, exactly.
What are you, crazy?
I know.
They're all like little guys. Larry King,
exactly. Little guys will make it.
You know,
That's right.
So
tall guys won't make it.
They're not going to make it. You got, you know, you're stooping over. You can't. The two shots don't work. Everything. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It'd be devastating to me. I'd go home and cry.
Yeah. So I didn't. I took the other way. I went the revenge way. Someday I'm going to like jam this, you know, remark down. No. Unfortunately.
Was this the secretary? Or was this the casting?
No, this was the guy. The casting person. And unfortunately, they passed away before you know I got Taxi.
With Taxi,
that was really the one that, you know, that was the, you know.
You loved that role.
Oh, Louie, I just loved
Louie De Palma was you.
Louie De Palma was like beautiful part, really great part.
Yeah.
I got that part like you know, I wasn't going to do television. I said, you know, everybody was telling me, no, really, I swear to God.
I'm 5-foot character actor. I'm not going to do
television, right? I said, look, I'm going to be a movie star. I'm not going to. Everybody's telling me don't do television.
I don't need television.
I don't need television. So I did a couple of movies, and I did some guest spots on TV and stuff. But series seemed like, you know, I didn't know. I didn't watch TV, and I didn't think. Anyway, I read the script. I thought it was great. This character of Louie De Palma is so great. He's cool. He's like, you know, just so mean and wonderful. And so I went to Jim Brooks and Ed Weinberger, who were the creators of the show, Dave Davis, Stan Daniels. They were seeing people for the part. And the casting director says, you got to go meet these guys. These are the top television guys. They created the Mary Tyler Moore Show, which I had never seen, and the blah-blah-blah and all this stuff. And I said, okay, I'll go. So I read it, and I really wanted the part, and there were a lot of people around auditioning, and I went in, my turn to go in, and there was the hot seat right across from me, and Brooks is in there, and everybody's sitting around this well-appointed office, and you know you're going to go sit over there and read, and they introduced me, and I said, one thing I want to know before I start, who wrote this shit? And I threw it on a coffee table, and I took one step in total terror, and then, you know, they laughed, and it was my room.
Yeah.
That was it.
And that, in fact, that character would have done the same thing.
Absolutely. So I walked in character. I could have blown the whole thing. I might not be sitting here now.
Yeah. And it did everything.
Oh,
you won an Emmy, and you did all the Taxi won a zillion Emmys.
That was an amazing show. 5 years on the show.
And you weren't happy when it went off the air.
Not happy at all. We went off the air twice. We went off the air. ABC, after 4 years,
dropped it.
Canceled the show. Can you believe that?
And then HBO picked it up. Or
no, it was
NBC picked it up. Right.
Yes.
Because they were in terrible straits in, were they?
Right. Right. But I mean, how could they cancel it?
So you had Judd Hirsch,
right? Tony Danza. Mary Lou Henner, Christopher Lloyd.
Family of actors.
Carol Kane, Andy Kaufman, rest his soul. You know, we had Jeff Conaway, we had Randall Carver started with the show. There were a lot of, it was really a wonderful family of people. And and then Rhea did 5 of them.
Yeah. But you directed some too. Is this where you developed this love of directing?
Well, I was actually doing it before that. Like in the 60s when I was in New York acting, after I had that little year in California, couldn't get arrested, I came back to New York and studying. And all during the 60s and the early 70s, before Cuckoo's Nest, I was studying filmmaking, just making Super 8 films and, taking some classes and just trying to figure out what exactly it was and write.
Were you doing it because you wanted to do it, or it wasn't like a backup in case I don't make it as an actor?
Yeah, it's not, no. I was doing it because I loved it. I spent a lot of time, just going to the Bleecker Street Cinema and the Waverly and the Elgin and the Thalia and that's what I loved it. From when I was a kid, when I used to go in Asbury, I always liked the movie. I always liked going to the movies. Not only eating the popcorn, but I always liked going.
Do you think you'll end up more as a director than an actor?
End up?
I don't mean by that.
The way you said end up.
All right.
I don't know.
Let me change that.
No, I know what you meant.
You know, I mean, I'd ask the same question of Robert Redford, whether he may, in the end, find out that directing is more satisfying.
I don't know. You know, it's such a great thing. Like with Junior, you get on the set and you dig into the material. You had Emma and Ivan and Arnold, and it's such a joy. Also, there's a lot of camper life when you're an actor. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You can go sit in a trailer with the director sweating over the shots and everything. But it's fun to do that. It's really an interesting.
But I bet you
But I love directing.
Because
it gives you the opportunity to explore, to I don't want to sound like, but paint, and you have to do with everything.
And use all the colors.
Every single decision that is made, the final decision, which I love, comes from how you feel is best for the movie. You feel. Yeah. I mean, everybody contributes ideas from this person, that person, all around. The writer, the cinematographer, the producer, all this stuff. But then you filter that all in and see how it fits your image of the movie, and it's so wonderful to deal with actors and do all of that stuff.
Would you rather do one, and not the question of whether you'd rather do one or the other, but how hard is it to do both at the same time?
Well, it's been enjoyable. It's very difficult to do both because you're always changing your pants on the set and stuff. You're in the wrong costume or whatever. But I like that too. But the idea is that it's fun to be in the movie and also be the director. I haven't done it the other way yet. I've done, like in Throw Momma, I was in it. In War of the Roses, I was in it, even though there were kind of wraparounds. There were, that was some flashbacks and some. And then in Hoffa also, I was in the movie. I enjoy.
How do you direct Nicholson?
Well, Jack is, works like, 24 hours a day he's working on it. You know what I'm saying? He's always doing it. He's in there sometime. I mean, he's dinner and you're talking about other things. But there's always something connecting him to the part. Always. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very... He's a director's dream in that he'll bring so much to that character. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whether you're going bigger with it or smaller with it or making little adjustments, he's there working on it, never going to let you down. And
so
the danger of it is that you'll print the first take and move on. You know what I'm saying? That's the danger. You don't want to do that. I don't want to make more work for my friend, but the thing is that he gets better and better and better and better. You know what I'm saying? There is a point when you're gonna go, you're gonna move on, everything's gonna happen, but he's full of it, full of that character.
Yeah. So there's a lot of talent you can reach into there and bring it up. Bring it up.
Right.
Is it hard to work with someone like that who's been a friend? I mean, you had a supporting role in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest,
right.
And he was the star.
Yes. Anthony Martini.
Yes.
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 That's right.
But is it...
Mind if I drink your water? Can I drink your water? Thank you. Here, you take mine. Here. That's fine. Thank you, Charlie.
That's what Anthony would do.
Thanks, Charlie.
Yes. Is it hard to direct your friends?
To be involved in a movie project with your friend?
No. To tell your friend.
No, what to do?
Yes.
No.
Or that you're not quite there. It's not quite what I want.
No,
Jack, give me more. Jack, give me less, Jack.
Okay, look.
Do it differently, Jack. You didn't do it as well as you can, Jack.
Well, I mean, you have to use certain, I don't think you want to do it, Charlie. Just stay away from Nicholson. No, here's the thing. No, I was kidding. The idea is that, everybody's looking for the same thing. We're digging for the right thing in the movie. Everybody's sensibilities, we're all looking for the right, we're digging for that gold. And part of my job as an actor, that's what it is. I mean, I go on the set with Ivan. I have to give him everything I can to find what he's looking for us to the template to move together so that we're operating on the same page or going down the same path or whatever. And you have to. That's what you do. You support the director and the material. Period.
And what's the director do?
The director asks you for more or less whatever he wants or she wants. I mean, when I work with Penny, now Penny and I are friends, We're very close from the time she was doing Laverne and Shirley. I'm a director. She's a director. We're both actors. She's in there. You give it to her with any which way you can. New, fresh choices that you're making along the way until she feels she's got it. And that's determined on the balance of she's looking at the entire scene. There are other people in the movie besides you. And that's the way you get it. You look for it, and when you feel that you've got it, you go on.
Take a look at this scene. This is another scene. This is one where it's a big and tall shot. Take a look.
Oh, yes.
Here we go.
We're shopping.
So what do you think?
Couldn't find one with a parrot on it? It's nice. It's nice.
You know, Larry, I'm starting to believe in fate. My baby, finding a compatible woman. I think it's all part of a design. Maybe I should see a psychic.
Psychiatrist. We should both see him.
I hate my body.
Looking prosperous there.
The pants are a little loose around the waist.
I could take them in.
Better leave room to grow.
That's a good idea.
That's the spirit. I'll cuff them for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the idea is, we're in the middle of the picture, and and Arnold is, anyway, he's getting a little more involved with Emma, and he's questioning certain things, and we need, he's growing. Right. I mean, there's something happening there, and.
But tell me about the directing of the scene. I mean, what's going on from an actor standpoint there in that scene? I mean, is anything that was an easy one?
Yeah. That's right. That's simple. We're talking about. We're moving I guess we're moving the story along from Arnold's point of view and where he is and how he's feeling in terms of, the relationship that's forming and.
Who's taught you the most about acting?
Well, everybody does. I mean, like all the people you work with. In school, it was there was one teacher who I liked who was made it fun and exciting and I guess along the way I've worked with some great directors and from Milos to all the way down the line. Yeah, that's right.
Jim Brooks for Terms of Endearment as well as Taxi.
And you learn from Zemeckis and Barry Levinson and the Zucker brothers. It was the first time I worked with 3 directors in a movie. It was really interesting. That was fun. And all the way down the line, Tim Burton and Penny. And it's Jack. I worked with Jack in Going South. He directed that. I was in that.
I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of, you pick up lots of things. Basically, the work that you're doing on your characters, that's coming from somewhere inside yourself.
Do you want a project for you and Rhea together?
Oh, that would be great. Yeah, that would be really good. It's really, we haven't found we did the ratings game for Showtime back in 80-something, 3 or something. But the idea is it's really basically once now she's finished with Cheers. She's off. She's going to do a movie in January, and we have 3 kids, and so there's a lot of stuff. But we always look for it. Basically, it's the material. If you can find the right material that you both want to get involved in.
Is that the hardest thing for you? Where you are?
That's where it is. It's really finding the things that touch you in one way or another that you want to be involved in. Because it takes years. It takes a couple of years. You find something you like, then you're talking about like a year or 2 down the path before you got to really, it's got to happen.
You are looking at stuff all the time, though.
All the time.
I mean, you could work 12 months out of the year.
That's right.
If you wanted to.
That's right.
Do you choose to?
No. I've been doing a few things now. So I've accompanied Jersey Films, and we've been producing movies, and so I've been doing a lot of that. Let's work. That's like working on. It's all stuff that I love doing. In terms of acting, I'm going to do a small part in a movie in January, and then I don't have anything lined up to do. I've been doing a lot of kids stuff and a lot of hanging
kids stuff, meaning 3 kids you have?
That's right. My
11,
kids.
9, and 7.
That's right. Lucy's 11.
How do they
Gracie's
change your
9,
life?
And Jake is 7. How they changed my life? Well, first of all, when you have a child, we waited we were together for 11 years before we got married, Rhea and I. And we
yes,
waited to...
You went from about 1970 to about 1980 something.
Right, something. And then we had Lucy. We decided to have kids, and we were very fortunate that we could do it, you know. Yeah. And when you do it, you know, it's a total, really, I mean, committing to them is like, that's what it's all about. You have to really serve that child and give them everything, every ounce. You're going to give them every ounce you love. But there's a lot of time involved. There's a lot of great, you know, focus that takes away from, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yourself. So you have to like, so it changes your life in a big way, but in a great way. We did, when Lucy was born, we said, you know, Rhea wanted to have the babies. She didn't want to give birth while Cheers was in production. Yeah. So we had to do them on the hiatus. So we had to
time it so that...
Yeah, talk about pressure, buddy. So Lucy was born the 25th of March. And then, you know, we loved it so much, we want to have another baby.
But
so
March.
Gracie was born Lucy was born the 11th of March, and Gracie was born the 25th of March. And then we decided, you know, we'd think about doing it again. We didn't plan on doing it again. And then all of a sudden, Rhea got pregnant, and Jake was born right in the middle of the season. on October, 30th. She was pregnant on the show. You remember, like, she was always pregnant, and really pregnant.
Right.
Really pregnant. Like, it's no... Once in a while, when they had to do a connecting scene after she had the baby, they had to put a pillow in to go back and do...
I'm jumping all around here, but how did you end up as the executive producer of Pulp Fiction?
Pulp Fiction. Well, as I said, Jersey Films, we formed a few years ago, and we produced Reality Bites last year. It was Ben Stiller's first movie, and we, you know, we're looking... It's not a company that was designed to just serve my own needs in terms of giving me vehicles or projects to work on. What I'm trying to do is, you know, embrace young talent, and what happened...
People like Quentin Tarantino?
That's right. Well, you know, Quentin was brought... the script of Reservoir Dogs was brought to me by Stacey Sher. This was a few years ago, and he was making the movie. He hadn't done the movie yet. And I read it, and I loved it, and then I said, I'd like to meet Quentin. I met him. I said, what are you going to do next? His next project, he was talking about these three stories intertwined. He was going to call it Pulp Fiction. I made a deal with him right away for the company to produce his movie, Pulp Fiction. He went off and wrote it and brought it to me. I read it. It was 159 pages. Usually a script is 110 pages, 120. It said Pulp Fiction by Quentin Tarantino, final draft. And I swear to God, I loved it so much. I thought it was hysterical when I read it. So I brought it to the studio. They didn't want to do it. Then I brought it to other places. And finally, Bob and Harvey Weinstein at Miramax came up with the bucks. And it was beautiful. I love the picture. Thought he did a great job. And so basically it's the support.
You loved it. What is it about him that you like, his work?
This guy's a tremendous writer, a tremendous director. He's totally consumed by film. Totally. You've met him.
I had a conversation with him like this. Yeah. And it was like talking to a film historian.
Absolutely.
It was like, they say Mike Tyson knows more about boxing history than any man alive.
And this guy knows
more about film.
More about film, yeah. He's really terrific. So, you know, you get the feeling not only from the spirit that he exhibits and his knowledge there, but that he knows exactly, you know, he's the kind of guy, he knows exactly what he wants. When he wrote the script, and I read the first page, and it said final draft, you go, uh-oh, right? That's the first thing. And you read that script, and it's like exactly what you see in that movie. When you see Pulp Fiction, that's what was in that script. On the page. That's right.
Yeah. And the hardest thing in the world is to find that script that speaks to you.
That's right.
Michael Douglas, he comes with a business head.
Mikey D.
Mikey D.
My buddy. Yeah, we've been
and Arnold does
good buddies. Yeah, absolutely. Very smart. Talking about business is very key.
Dude, the best that you know, those that you enjoy the most, they come prepared.
Absolutely.
These are not people that take this lightly. This is business.
No, this is
serious.
This is serious.
This is other people depending on me doing my thing.
That's right.
You know, you don't just show up here and sort of.
You're not going to let
this is not fun and games, and I'll get to it if I can.
No, it's too important. Too important. Everybody's lives are right there with you. Everybody's talents are right there with you. As a producer, Mikey D, you can't beat the guy in terms of producing.
Because?
He takes care of everything. And he gives you everything. And he gives you everything you need to be free, to do your work. That's all I ask. That's all anybody could ask. That's all, what does a producer do? Huh? Is it the Danny DeVito show? That's not what it is. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to support the artist. Bingo. Say no more. You need it, I'm your Sir Galahad. I'll go out and get it for you. You know what I mean? Or I'll die trying, buddy. That's the way it should be. And it's kind of a family thing, and you can talk to people, and everybody shares ideas, and that's the way it goes.
Great business to be in.
Wonderful business.
Wouldn't do anything else.
No way.
Great to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.